This is number 11. You have 3 plus 3 sine theta. So let's see, what is that? That is a limson, and A over B is equal to 1, and so it's a cardioid. Okay, so it's a cardioid limison. Oops, let me get back here. Cardioid limison. Okay, symmetry, we're going to try pi over 2, theta equals pi over 2, and sure enough, it does. So we're going to say symmetry is theta is pi over 2. We have to go find our maximum R value, so here's me substituting -1 in, and I get 0, and +1 in, and I get 6. So our maximum R value is going to be 6. How do we find out where? We substitute R with 6, and we get 3 plus 3 sine theta. So sine theta is 1, and sine theta is 1 at pi over 2. So I know that I have 6 pi over 2 as one of my maximums. So I'm going to pi over 2, and there's 6. Okay, remember I know it's a cardioid, so it's going to have that heart part in the middle. Let's go for the zeros. I set the equation equal to 0, and I get sine theta is -1 at 3 pi over 2. So at 3 pi over 2, I have a 0. Okay, and I'm going to draw my line of symmetry in here to help me. And so I have to do the points from -pi over 2 to pi over 2. So here's me writing them all down. I'm going to use my pi over 2, pi over 3, negative pi over 2, negative pi over 3, negative pi over 4, negative pi over 6, and then I should a negative pi over 12. So I went and stuck a pi over 12 in there, and then 0. And then at 0 we knew it was. At 3 pi over 2 we knew it was 0. So just talking. Pi over 12 is 3.7, and pi over 6 is 4.5, and pi over 3 was 5.6 from my calculator. So plotting those points, negative pi over 2, which is 3 pi over 2, is 0. Negative pi over 3, which is 5 pi over 6, is 0.4. So there's that point. And it will have its matching one across the axis. So those 2 points. Negative pi over 4 is this line right here, and that has one at 0.9, and so 0.9 and 0.9 over here. Pi over 6, negative pi over 6 is 1.5, so we had a point right there, and one right here, doing our best. It's kind of hard, small. Okay, negative pi over 12 was 2.2, so out a little bit, out a little bit. Okay, we're getting those. And then 0 was 3, so we have a good point, 0, 3 here, and we would have a point over here, opposite. And then pi over 12, we got, that's this line right here, we have 3.7, so I did a point there, and a point there. And at pi over 6, it's 4.5, so I did a point there and a point there. And at pi over 3, it's 5.6, so I did it about there and about there. And then at pi over 2, it was its greatest, which is 6. So we have our nice heart upside down, cardioid limison. So that was number 11.